Your personality is increasingly a product of lines of code. The self is rewritten during every scroll, bypassing conscious logic to alter your subconscious identity. Are you truly evolving or becoming a digital echo? We operate on the assumption of digital free will. We believe we control our choices, maintaining complete autonomy over the content we consume and the identities we project. Predictive models in 2026 anticipate emotional reactions before the brain consciously processes the information on screen. The system identifies a response before the user is aware they are having one. Reinforcement learning uses these predictions to actively steer those emotional spikes. The algorithm sends targeted inputs designed to nudge the user toward a specific, predetermined behavioral outcome. This shifts the algorithm from a tool that suggests what we like to a system that assigns us a digital personality. Our preferences are no longer discovered. They are manufactured through constant, micro-targeted feedback. These algorithmic data points function at a speed that bypasses critical thinking. There is no moment of reflection, only a continuous stream of inputs that the brain processes as internal truths. Because this process avoids conscious logic, the engineered digital personality is accepted as the authentic self. We inhabit the identity the code has built for us, mistaking its parameters for our own genuine evolution. Personalized digital engagement functions as a dopamine mirror. It reflects a curated version of our ego back to us, reinforcing specific traits while discarding others based on engagement metrics. The infinite scroll creates a cycle of variable ratio reinforcement. The brain is kept in a state of high arousal searching, never knowing which swipe will provide the next hit of neurochemical reward. This constant physiological loop bonds our sense of self-worth to algorithmic validation. We begin to require the machine's approval to feel a sense of internal stability. These repeated neurochemical hits gradually dissolve the boundary between the private self and the public profile. The distinction between who we are and how we are perceived by the network begins to vanish. Carl Jung identified the shadow as the collection of complex, often contradictory traits that define the human psyche. Algorithms, however, require consistency to remain effective. To keep a digital persona marketable, the algorithm suppresses the shadow. It ignores the messy or inconsistent parts of our humanity, rewarding only the traits that fit into a predictable, categorized dataset. This forces the user into a flattened digital archetype. A deep psychological tension emerges when our complex, lived experience inevitably conflicts with the rigid, curated identity we must maintain to receive validation. This tension manifests in the mirror effect. Users subconsciously alter their physical behavior, from clothing choices to mannerisms, to better align with the digital silhouettes that the algorithm deems successful. Data from 2026 shows that aesthetic trends pushed by the feed dictate offline lifestyle choices. When an algorithmic preference gains traction, it is followed by a measurable shift in how people spend their time and money in the physical world. Algorithmic biases funnel a wide range of human interests into a narrow band of behaviors. The variety of human expression is physically restricted as the network promotes a limited set of successful lifestyle templates. We engage in a form of behavioral self-correction. We modify our real-world actions to ensure they produce the metrics the digital system expects, prioritizing the health of the profile over the needs of the individual. The result is a flattened identity. The individual becomes a collection of predictable data points, optimized for the network, rather than personal fulfillment. Organic human growth is restricted by this need for algorithmic relevance. When the path to social and psychological reward is dictated by code, the ability to evolve in unexpected or nonlinear ways is lost. The feedback loop is now the primary architect of our reality. The feed no longer follows our lead. It defines our values and shapes our physical existence. If this trajectory continues, the autonomous self is replaced by a series of reactive responses to algorithmic nudges. We risk existing merely as executors of a predefined digital blueprint. Reclaiming autonomy requires the introduction of digital friction. This strategy involves creating deliberate obstacles to break the cycle of unconscious engagement and identity shaping. One method is the use of intentional boredom. By refusing to scroll, we starve the predictive models of the constant stream of behavioral data they require to maintain their map of our identity. Intentional boredom interrupts the physiological grip of variable ratio reinforcement. It allows the nervous system to decouple from the machine's reward schedule and return to a natural state of attention. This creates the necessary space for offline introspection. We must look inward to rediscover a self-concept that exists independently of external metrics and digital validation. An internal self-concept naturally resists the categorization of code. It allows for the return of the shadow, the complex and contradictory traits that a machine cannot successfully monetize or predict. The sovereign mind must demote technology back to a tool for exploration. We must ensure it serves our curiosity rather than framing our identity.